Join me for the new show. I'm bringing you entertainment, guests, and advice on health and beauty. We all need inspiration now. We will look at how to live your life and love your life. Hello everyone, welcome once again to the Halimah Show. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're all well. I hope you've all had a great week and looking for inspiration and hungry for inspiration. So today our guest is Serina. She is an online fitness coach. And let me tell you, we are all dying to hear what she has to say. Welcome, Serina.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much for being here. I know you're in America, so we got timings right just about again.
Yes.
So Serina, tell me a bit about you, how long you've been in the fitness industry and what made you get into it firstly.
Yeah, so I'm an online fitness coach and a nutritionist as well. I've been personally a coach for 2 years almost, but I've been personally in the fitness industry for a little bit over 10 years.
Wow.
I got into it when I was younger, when I was about 13 years old, and I really got into it because I wanted to increase my muscle mass. I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to just really focus on like toning up. And I was
13.
yeah, I was
13. Wow.
I was 15 at the time. So I started working out with my mom, doing like YouTube videos, all of that stuff, Jillian Michaels, things like that. And then from there, I continued to, transfer onto my own path. And I really started focusing on wanting to do it as a way to like release stress from my body, because a lot of the things I would be going through, like my parents' divorce, my schooling, all of that would became very stressful for me. So
Yeah.
physical fitness and exercise was really my go-to.
Yeah,
And
it's a good motivator, isn't it? It's
yeah,
a good motivator and it's good for your brain as well.
yeah, it definitely is. It has a lot of benefits. But like my journey hasn't always been super easy with it. It's definitely been challenging. I've had my times where, I would overwork my body. I wouldn't give it rest or recovery. I would work out more than 7 times like throughout the
Oh,
week. Yeah, I would like constantly be working out, stressing over my body, stressing over what I was eating, because I felt like no matter whatever I was eating, I still wasn't losing the weight that I wanted to, because of the stress that I was holding in from wanting to lose the weight.
so
So
how have you stayed motivated then across the 10 years? That's a long time. I mean, I think I'm trying for what, a year or two and I'm struggling. So how have you stayed motivated for that long?
because it's something that I really strive for, to be better mentally and physically. So the mental part of it is that, like, your body achieves what the mind believes. So I focused on training it, my mind to align with my body, and I really got into the spiritual aspect of it. So doing like meditations, focusing on releasing all the energy from my stomach, which is what helped me a lot to start seeing the physical results that I was, spending hours at the gym for, watching my food. It really came down to the spiritual side of it, which is what really got me into like more motivated, and it got me to seeing what I wanted to see. So I
How
started,
do you get the energy out of your stomach? Because I think stomach is a big one for women. I mean, I'm 42, I'm turning 43 this year, but I think especially over 40, the stomach is a massive space of negative energy. I mean, I've had children as well, so
yeah.
it doesn't help with the stomach. um,
So we all have 7 energy centers, also known as chakras in the body, and the one mostly for your stomach is called the solar plexus energy center. And what that is you hold a lot of energy in that area, and that has to really do with feeling worthy of yourself, feeling whole with yourself, your confidence, all of that. And many of us, when we don't feel like we're seeing the results that we want, we start to lose confidence. We start to have lack of worthiness and all of that. So you start to hold all of that into your stomach, which is right a couple inches right above your belly button. That's where that energy
Okay.
center is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what I would focus on, I would do Joe Dispenza meditations. He would help me a lot. And then I would also do guided meditations on YouTube for solar plexus. One of them
Okay.
is called I think the Healing Camp. And
Okay.
it really focuses on like, closing your eyes, tuning inwards, focusing on your breathing and allowing all of that energy to start from your stomach and feel it starting going up and then like releasing from your body.
Wow,
So it's
that's really interesting that you're talking about energies and all the spiritual stuff, and you're not getting straight into eat less and exercise
yeah,
more.
yeah, because to me, like, my whole business, my company, all of that, so it's mind, body, gains, fitness. So I focus on aligning your mind first, and the mind has to really do with not just your, superficial mindset part of it, but really digging deep into the spiritual side and understanding why you're feeling a certain way. Because if you realize, like, the things that are around you, realize what's triggering you and all the stress that you're holding into your body and into your stomach, many of us, when you actually become conscious of it and you release that energy, then you'll
Yeah.
start really seeing the weight loss. And then,
Wow,
of course,
that's
then
fascinating.
yeah, then that's where the nutrition comes into play, the fitness comes into play. But first and foremost, if you don't have your mindset, the spirituality parts, like releasing the energy, then you'll still lose weight, but you'll have a much harder time. You'll really struggle.
Yeah. And it comes back much quicker as well, I think, right?
Yeah, and I've seen a humongous difference in myself, like throughout my journey of when I would be feeling stressed, and like from a physical perspective, when you stress out a lot, you release cortisol, and that cortisol is a stress hormone. So what happens is that it slows down your digestive system. So that's like the physical part of it. And then the spiritual part of it is when you're holding a lot of energy, you're blocking yourself. So that center is blocked. So it's not allowing for energy to flow and release out of your body. And another perspective of that is, food is energy, it's an energy
Yeah.
source. So if you're putting in all this food and the energy into your body, and then plus your stressors, another source of energy, it's like,
Yeah.
it keeps continuing and
That's the
continuing.
thing. I mean,
It's
yeah, people,
one another.
I mean, the people that I've spoken to, I mean, I eat when I'm happy or sad, to be honest. But I have, I know so many people who stop eating when they're not happy. But the other end of it, I know people who eat too much when they're not happy.
Hmm.
So it's just so stress related, like you said. I
Yeah.
think that's a big one. Or when we're bored as well, when we're
Mhm.
stressed, just want to go to food first.
Yeah, that's very common. And, emotional eating is very, very common, especially amongst women, because, we have our emotions. So a lot of us will either fuel it with food or, like you said, decide not to eat. Your appetite gets suppressed. So something
Yeah,
super important, like me personally, like I love food. I have the biggest sweet tooth ever. Like I'll have cake for breakfast. Like I just love sweets. But I just really focus on being balanced and moderate. And
okay,
it's been a learning progress for myself throughout my journey. And I always continue to improve myself and continue to improve my techniques. But
yeah,
the primary thing when it comes to emotional eating is to one, identify where you're what's causing that emotional eating. So,
yeah,
getting a journal and logging down, like, okay, if you find yourself about to eat through that emotional phase, what emotion are you feeling? What type of
yeah.
food are you going for? Is it something like, to satisfy like sweet cravings? Is it salty? For the most part, I feel like people who, are experiencing that emotional eating want to go towards like fatty foods and like sweets because
Crunchy food.
yeah, it gives you a sense of comfort and then it releases hormones in your brain that, make you happy when you eat that. Because
Yeah.
it also has chemicals which, also are impacting what's releasing from your brain into your body.
It's interesting that you say that because today I actually saw a post on Twitter
Mhm.
where a fitness instructor has just blasted one of his clients. He hasn't named her or shamed her in that way, but
Yeah.
he put a picture of a burger that she put up, and he
Mhm.
was really angry that, oh, she's not listening to me. I can't believe she's booked me as her instructor, and then she's gone off and gobbled this burger up.
It was
And
on
he was
Twitter.
really angry at this client for not following him to the T, and he said he fired her as a client. And I thought, well, what if she's just having a bad day? And maybe I said, maybe you should be patient and see what the real problem is. Why did she go and stuff that burger in her mouth after
Mhm.
paying you so much money? Because I've done it. I've page a lot, as you know,
Yeah.
and I've been on and off because I've been doing this for about 2 years, where I'm trying to not just lose weight, but I want to become healthy. It's not just about weight. I want
Mhm.
to, I don't want my skin to lose its, like suppleness, because sometimes when you lose weight really quickly, you get wrinkles very quickly. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to do it quite slow, but you can just, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like it's the emotional thing.
Yeah.
Um, you do feel like I just want to eat like everybody else.
Yeah, again, which is completely normal, but that's what it really comes back down to. Like when you have like severe emotional eating, and that's when you really should take a step back, journal, log down what you're eating, how you're feeling, what's causing that emotion, and then start being more mindful of it, because the more mindful
Yeah,
and conscious you become of that, the easier
yeah,
it will be to slowly kind of like deviate away from it. So maybe if
yeah,
you find yourself emotionally eating 5 times a day, be
yeah,
mindful of it, and then maybe cut it back to 4 times a day, and then
yeah,
slowly work your way up there. Because if I come to you as a fitness instructor and I tell you, if I know you have emotional eating habits, I know that you like love sweets, I know like you have a routine that you've been following for X amount of years. I can't just come in and tell you, oh, here, cut all of that out and eat chicken and
yeah.
veggies and all that. It's not gonna work.
All day, all night, all day, all night.
Yeah, you'll just,
Yeah, we're going to actually go to a video that you sent us. I was going to, once we come back from the video, we'll talk about a little bit about exercise as well. But I really like your tip on writing down. I'm a big writer with pen and paper, more than doing it into the Fitness Pal and all these apps. I'm a writer, so I'm actually going to go back to writing it by hand.
yeah, that's
But let's go to your video. If you want to just tell us quickly what the video is.
Yeah, so the video shows one of my favorite exercises, which are battle ropes. And battle ropes are such a great full body exercise because it's not only working your arms, it's working your shoulders, your core, your glutes, your legs, all of it. And it's such a great way to tone your body. It's great for endurance, and it just helps with overall strength. So
Okay,
that's,
so we'll talk about exercise when we come back from the video. Thank you.
of course.
Ain't no mystery, baby. We making history lately. Yeah, cause we the rookies of the year. All I see is devils in my rear. Yeah, we making history, baby. It's just history, baby.
So we've come back from the video and we've got Serina to explain a little bit about exercise. And then I wanted to actually ask you what that was one of your favorite exercises. But aside from the rope exercise, what other exercise would you tell people to try? But also for busy women who can't go to the gym and they're just doing things from home, what are the few exercise tips that you can give?
So personally, during COVID time, I became very, very creative with my workouts. So resistant band training is personally one of my favorites. I absolutely love it because it's such a great way to build muscle, tone your body, as well as burning fat at the same time. And it really strengthens your muscles overall. So one, it's a great way for beginners to get started on it, just in the strengthening phase. You can use
Yeah.
like little small resistant bands, the little loop bands. And then there's so many different variations of exercises you can do with it. If I had one on me right now, I would show you. But
Yeah.
definitely, if you go to my Instagram, you'll be able to see like a lot of exercises I do have with resistant bands.
Oh,
Other
that's good.
Yeah, other than that, some basic exercises like push-ups are really great to do at home. Lunges, squats, things in that nature are good because you don't need equipment for it, and it's also working your full body. And if you're a beginner, also, if push-ups are too hard for you to even modify on the floor, just starting off with simple as doing wall push-ups, like placing your hands on the wall and just
Yeah.
performing the push-up as is that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another question, thank you for that. Another question is, I mean, these are personal questions, I guess, but I'm sure our viewers are wanting to know. So there's a massive balance between exercise and food, right? Because I know there's a number of steps you need for the day in order to keep it healthy for your heart. But sometimes I feel like I'm exercising so much, and in lockdown, I've been exercising my head off.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not seeing the weight loss on the scale. Now, I know it's not so important to see weight loss on the scale, but for medical reasons, when doctors are prescribing medicine and you've got all these illnesses or whatever, they do look at the weight,
Yeah.
unfortunately, or the BMI. So So how, like, what do I do? Is it because I'm not eating the right food that I'm not losing the weight? Because I'm exercising to death and I'm trying different, really good online Zoom classes and stuff. So
Yeah.
is it, what am I doing? Not balancing it right?
So there's two primary factors when it comes into that because I've also experienced it with myself. I've seen it in my clients. The primary thing is one, the nutrition. Well, actually, I would say three things. So the first one, I would say, is definitely the nutrition that plays a big role of it. Being
Okay.
focused on primarily having like the higher protein intake and then being more moderate with carbs and fats will be great
Okay.
because having high protein intake will help in burn fat because it metabolizes your metabolism, so it speeds it up. It helps build muscle mass, and overall, it just helps with recovery because you need protein for your muscles to recover.
How much chicken and meat can someone eat though? Like seriously, I feel like you need to be made of money to be eating chicken and meat all lunch, all dinner. It's very expensive.
It can be, but it also depends on what you make. So, it doesn't always have to be just chicken and meat. There's other sources of protein through like beans, because a lot of people also have dietary restrictions if they're vegan, vegetarian, things like that.
Yeah,
So there are
yeah.
other sources to get your protein intake from. You can also, have fish, salmon. Tuna is very, very high in protein and lower on like the fats and carbs, of course.
Okay.
So tuna is definitely such a great source, and then there's so many different ways you can cook your chicken. There's so many different ways you can make the tuna so that it doesn't feel like it's boring or that you're eating the same thing over and over again. But if
Yeah.
you're grilling chicken every single day, then yeah, it gets boring. I personally don't do that. Yeah, like a lot of people think that like even myself, like as a fitness coach, that I'm like to the T, like meal prepping, all that stuff. I personally think meal prepping helps, and it's great for a lot of people. But for me personally, since my mom does the cooking, I'm not as
Oh,
so it's
that's
easier
beautiful.
for me. Yeah, I mean, like I'll still make my food here and there, but it's still like I still focus on having that higher protein intake throughout my food. But I don't like to restrict myself. If I'm craving
Okay.
something, I'll have it, but just like be moderate about it.
Thank you so much, Serena. I think we'll be ending soon, but people can go to Instagram. I'll put the link up, and everyone can book you online for their nutrition advice and their
Yeah,
exercise advice. I was going to ask you before we go, what's a good way to fight off snacks?
a good way to fight off snacks. So
Yeah,
definitely.
snack craving.
Definitely be mindful. Think about it before you eat it. Like, are you really hungry or are you just bored? That's one. Two, drink some water first before you have a snack, and it's like fill up your stomach with that water because it'll kind of make you feel and realize, okay, either no, I was just bored, or no, I feel still hungry after this. And then be mindful of the snack that you're having. So, maybe
Yeah.
try going for like a fruit, like apple with peanut butter, something sweet and savory at the same time. It's just things like that. That's what I would say, being primarily focused on being mindful of the snacking and by
Yeah.
having water prior to it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I found those tips really, really useful. And hopefully, all the viewers can go and book you online and we'll see
Yeah.
big differences. And but yeah, no, keep us posted.
I
And hopefully, we'll have you on again to show us some more exercise tips as
yeah,
well.
I definitely will. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed
Thank
this.
you so much, Serena. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much, viewers. I hope you enjoyed that edition. Again, if you've got any questions, you can go to Serena directly on Instagram or email her, ask all your fitness advice. It's really nice to have a woman who's experienced in these things and has goes through issues herself as well, because then she understands what we're going through, and she's not like some big muscled up, beefy personal trainer who's scaring us to death. But yeah, hope you join us again for our shows, and take care.